Look closely at a bearded dragon basking under its heat lamp. To the untrained eye, it appears to be completely inactive, lost in a state of perpetual daydreaming, or perhaps devoid of any thought at all. But behind that famous, unblinking, empty stare lies a processing unit working at maximum capacity. Your bearded dragon is not daydreaming. Its brain is running a complex thermodynamic equation just to stay alive, acting as a living computer, optimizing energy in real time. Unlike mammals, which burn massive amounts of metabolic fuel to maintain a constant internal body temperature, ectotherms like the bearded dragon rely entirely on their environment. This is often misunderstood as a primitive limitation. In reality, it is an incredibly sophisticated evolutionary strategy. By outsourcing their heat production to the sun, they save up to 90% of the energy a mammal of equivalent size would waste. To make this strategy work, the bearded dragon requires highly specialized biological hardware. Its nervous system is constantly flooded with data points from across its entire body. Sensory receptors on the skin measure local temperatures, while internal receptors monitor core visceral heat. All this data is fed directly into a brain that acts as a real-time thermodynamic controller. To understand their math, we must look at the physics of heat transfer. The dragon must balance three primary forces: radiation from the sun or heat lamp, conduction from the surfaces they touch, and convection from the moving air around them. Every second they spend in the open is a calculation balancing these three distinct pathways of thermodynamic exchange. The variables are constantly shifting. Ambient temperature, relative humidity, surface heat of the substrate, and even minor drafts in the room change the equation. If any of these numbers drift too far, the dragon's physiological processes will begin to fail. They must constantly calculate their net thermal gain or loss to prevent metabolic breakdown. One of their most incredible computing tools is located right on top of their head, the parietal eye. Often called the third eye, this specialized photoreceptor doesn't form images. Instead, it measures solar radiation and light intensity directly, acting as a built-in solar calibration that helps the brain calculate the exact angle and intensity of the sun. The actual mathematical equation running in their brain resembles the Stefan-Boltzmann law of radiation, combined with Fourier's law of thermal conduction. It calculates net energy transfer as a function of surface area, emissive properties of their skin, and the temperature difference between their core and the environment. The margin for error is razor thin. If the dragon stays too cold, its digestive enzymes deactivate, causing food to rot in its stomach instead of digesting. If it gets too hot, its proteins begin to denature, leading to rapid cellular death. The empty stare is the focused concentration required to avoid these lethal extremes. On a microscopic level, their skin acts like adaptive solar panels. Cells called melanophores can expand or contract to alter the physical color of the dragon's skin. When they need to absorb heat quickly, they darken their skin to lower their albedo, maximizing light absorption. When they are warm enough, they lighten their color to reflect excess radiation. This color change is not a conscious choice, like a chameleon's camouflage. It is an automated chemical reaction driven by the thermoregulatory center of the brain. By shifting from dark brown to bright yellow, they dynamically adjust their solar absorption efficiency from moment to moment, matching the current thermodynamic demand. But heat absorption at the surface is only half the battle. Transport is key. The dragon's cardiovascular system acts as a liquid heat exchanger. Through vasodilation, blood vessels near the skin dilate to absorb maximum warmth from the environment, which is then pumped rapidly throughout the rest of the body to raise core temperature. When resources are scarce, they can selectively shunt blood flow. If the external environment is cold, the brain orders the constriction of peripheral blood vessels, keeping the warm blood concentrated in the vital organs of the core, while letting the limbs run slightly cooler to conserve precious energy. This constant balancing act of blood flow, color change, and body positioning makes the bearded dragon's brain function like a modern computer's thermal management system. Much like a CPU throttles its speed and adjusts fan rates to prevent overheating, the dragon throttles its activity and adjusts its physical profile to maintain system equilibrium. This thermal management allows them to optimize their metabolic rate. At their preferred temperature of around 95 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, their body operates at peak chemical efficiency. Outside this narrow window, their biological machinery slows down drastically, making optimal thermoregulation a literal matter of life and death. Sometimes you will see a bearded dragon basking with its mouth wide open, staring into space like a statuesque monster. This behavior, called gaping, is the equivalent of a computer's cooling fan turning on. By exposing the moist lining of their mouth, they use evaporative cooling to shed excess heat directly from their head, protecting their brain from overheating. To fine-tune their intake, they must understand geometry. They adjust their angle of incidence relative to the light source. By tilting their body, they can increase or decrease the intensity of the light hitting their back. A slight shift of just a few degrees can alter their heat absorption rate by significant margins. They also manipulate their own surface area. When cold, they pancake, flattening their ribcage and body to expand their surface area, creating a larger target for the sun's rays. When they have reached their optimal operating temperature, they contract, narrowing their profile to reduce further heat absorption. Their environment is not a uniform block of space. It is a complex 3D map of microclimates. The dragon's brain maintains a mental layout of this thermal landscape, calculating exactly how long to spend in the hot zone, the warm transition zone, and the cool shade to maintain a stable, averaged internal temperature. As night approaches and the heat source disappears, the math changes once more. With no external energy to harvest, the dragon must minimize heat loss. It retreats into a burrow or cave, reducing its exposed surface area and lowering its heart rate to enter a state of energy conservation, preparing for the cold hours ahead. These thermodynamic calculations have been tested and refined over millions of years of evolution. Long before humans built the first thermal sensor, these ancient reptiles were already masterfully manipulating thermal dynamics, surviving in some of the harshest, most unpredictable desert environments on Earth. When we compare this to mammalian biology, the efficiency is staggering. While a mammal must eat constantly to fuel its internal furnace, a bearded dragon can survive on a fraction of the food, turning almost every calorie it consumes into muscle, growth, and survival instead of burning it off as mere body heat. So, the next time you look at your bearded dragon and see only a blank, lifeless stare, remember the silent calculations occurring behind those golden eyes. It is a state of deep, active concentration, a continuous biological math problem being solved in silence, perfectly tuned to the rhythm of the physical world. They are not simple, mindless pets. They are master thermodynamicists, ancient living computers designed to survive using the purest laws of physics. Their empty stare is not a lack of thought, but the ultimate expression of biological efficiency, solving the equations of life 1 degree at a time.